For the first time, scientists have released a report card on the health of Queensland's largest river system. The Fitzroy Basin received a C grading, with farming, mining and the weather all taking a toll. The research comes at an important time. This week, the state government announced it would extend a water release program for coal mines. Marlena Wapp explains.
One of Australia's largest catchments, the Fitzroy Basin extends throughout central Queensland. Its enormous reach is especially on show in flood, so powerful it can bring massive mines to a standstill. Researchers have been working for years to monitor the basin's health, and they believe they've finally made a breakthrough with cooperation from miners and farmers.
This is a first report card of its kind. It's a first snapshot. We live in a system that is highly variable, droughts and flooding rains. So to start to understand what are some of the natural factors as well as the management that we have and we can implement to try and improve the waterway health and improve the aquatic ecosystems.
The release of the basin's first health report card comes at an all-important time. The state government plans to widen its mine water release program.
We are talking to the mining industry now about expanding the pilot scheme next year to take in other mines within the central Queensland area.
On the edge of the Fitzroy River in Rockhampton this week, the basin's health took centre stage. It's a welcome move. There have long been concerns about the impact of floods on water quality in the region, and a massive catchment flows out to the Great Barrier Reef Lagoon.
The Fitzroy system is the largest seaward flowing catchment outside the Murray-Darling. It's the largest catchment contributing to the Great Barrier Reef Lagoon, and in particular the Fitzroy Delta and Keppel Bay.
For 18 months, scientists worked with 26 organisations associated with the government, agriculture, the resources sector and green groups. More than 340,000 samples were taken from hundreds of monitoring sites. The research focused on the effects of the 2010 and 2011 floods, testing for heavy metals, nutrients and toxins.
There was significant rainfall, there was significant flooding, and for the basin as a whole to get a pass mark of C certainly suggests that it's a very robust system that can accommodate those kind of significant rainfalls, but also suggests we've got a bit of work to do.
The C grading means there are good and poor levels of water quality throughout the basin.
It's probably pretty similar to many of the other catchments, not the more pristine ones further north in the GBR catchment, but for catchments that have had a lot of activity over a lot of time.
The mines are one of the land uses that we have in the Fitzroy Basin. They cover a land use area of about 1%, and that along with the other land uses including agriculture and urban zones and grazing and cropping, they all had an influence in terms of the water qualities.
The report card coincides with the Queensland Government's announcement to expand its mine water release program. Since November, 4 BMA coal mines have been trialling a water discharge program.
It's become very clear with the completion of just one wet season that those mine water releases have not made the water quality here in Rockhampton any worse.
That wasn't the case in the 2008 floods, when a discharge from Ensham mine near Emerald contaminated local water supplies.
It meant that even mines downstream had to treat water before they could use it. But the good news is that created the need for greater scientific study.
Since then, the industry says many lessons have been learnt.
So there's a lot more known about how the systems operate. So the background level of science is a lot higher than it was a couple of years ago. Plus you've got all that extra operational knowledge about how the sites manage their own water balance, move water around, use the water more efficiently.
An independent study of the government's trial program found that overall water quality was not worse. So 32 other mines in the basin will be eligible to join the initiative.
We are going to insist that the mining industry play their part and carry out whatever work is possible to ensure that the amount of water that needs to be released to the river is kept to a minimum.
The report cards will now be released annually, and in the future will go beyond water quality to include a broader look at the environment that feeds into the river system.
We've only just started to look at all of the water quality indicators. What we don't quite understand is what effect it has on the whole of the food chain, from the microbial life through fishes and turtles and ultimately to humans and the barrier reef.
That's the Achilles heel, I think, that we're talking about ecological health and we haven't got much ecology, but we're working on that and we'll get there.
The Fitzroy River sort of led the way 10 years ago with the planning of water resource planning, and really the system we have in place now in Queensland reflects what was developed in the Fitzroy. I think you're seeing that next stage where you're starting to develop a Fitzroy model around water qualities.